All right, well, it's good to be back from the bye week and be able to get back to being game prepared. Excited for heading to Madison. Have not been there before, so it's certainly an exciting time to go experience an incredible venue, which we know that it is at the University of Wisconsin. So our guys are excited about getting back on the field. We practiced yesterday. We'll practice again tomorrow and the rest of the week, fly out Thursday, and get ready to go. So we certainly understand the task at hand. We know that it is has always been one of the best defenses in college football in the Big Ten. We know we've got to be on our P's and Q's and be locked in and ready to roll. So we're ready for them. Special teams wise, they've always had an outstanding special teams, and we know that that hasn't changed. They have two great returners, kickoff and punt returner. And then offensively, I know they're going through some things, trying to figure out who their quarterback is. They've had a bunch of injuries, and we have to be prepared for multiple looks there. But as a team, we're healthy. We're back as good as we can be, I think, at this moment in time. Quentin Moore practiced full go yesterday, so he's ready to roll. Both the left tackle, left guard, good to go. So I think we're in a good spot. We don't have everybody, but we have most of them. So we're excited about Saturday and looking forward to the game. Questions?
Health-wise, any updates? And is this the healthiest you've been in a while right now?
Yeah, I think those were my updates. I think we're in a good spot. I think we're in a good spot health-wise, so we'll let it roll.
Rasheed Williams and Isaiah Ward were the two guys you talked about with us before the bye week. Or do you expect either of them to play in this game?
Yeah, unfortunately, Rasheed will not be able to play. Rasheed got hurt in practice last week and will not be able to play. Isaiah, we're still waiting to see what it looks like.
Is that you thinking that's like a day-to-day thing with Rasheed, or that keep?
No, I think we'll be out for at least a few weeks.
Same injury?
No. Finger. Or hand, I think it was.
Status quo with Manu?
Status quo with Manu, waiting to hear. Supposedly hear something before Friday, so we'll see what it looks like. He will practice and prepare, and hopefully we'll know something here this week to really make that final decision on if there's more than one game left or if there's not. And then, obviously, postseason doesn't count.
It's probably hard to, I guess, admit this. I don't know. Maybe that's the wrong word. Does the quality of the opponent factor in at all when deciding whether or not he plays in that game he's got left? Is it all about just where he's at physically and mentally? Like, how do you?
Yeah, we made the decision based on the health of the players around them, really more than anything, because of the fact that Buddha is out and can't be back, obviously out with the ACL. That we have to figure out how healthy is Adrius, how healthy is X-Ray, how healthy is Devin, to really make that decision on what game going into the game are we. We can't put ourselves in a position where we only have one or two linebackers. So right now, going into this game, we're healthy at the linebacker position. So we have to kind of each week make that decision based upon the health of the team.
You mentioned Wisconsin's defense. What are some of the things that give you the most challenges from an offensive perspective?
Well, they're very big, they're fast, they're physical. They've got two outstanding pass rushers that we have to be able to handle. Both their defensive ends are really good. Their safeties play extremely hard downhill. They're a team that has always been kind of like known to be hard-hitting, physical, tough defense to go against. They play a mixture of coverages, a mixture of pressures. Coach Fickle's always done a good job with his defenses, going back to when he was at Ohio State in 2011. I coached against him when I was at Miami. So certainly have a lot of respect for him and the program.
Is being ranked doing anything for you?
No, not really. It's good. It's good. I think hopefully we'll continue to stay in that conversation. And the more you win, the better situation it is. But it's nice to be recognized for our players, for what our players have done to get to 6-2, to be in a situation where we have an opportunity now to make November. Each week's going to mean something. So we're really looking forward to that.
As you guys each year, talk about your goals for the season, how much does the playoff factor into that and making the playoff field? Is it something you talk about or no?
We haven't talked necessarily about as a team goal of making the playoffs as much as we've talked about winning the state of Washington, which would consist of all games at home, and that would end up, and then also if we play Washington State on the road. So as many games as we can win in the state of Washington. We talk about the Big Ten, winning the Big Ten, and we talk about competing for championships. So to me, that kind of gives us some opportunities as we're building our goals to see, okay, where are we at in state? Where are we at home in the state of Washington? Where are we within the Big Ten Conference? And then what championship opportunities might we have? And I've looked at every time you play in the postseason as a championship opportunity. So we'll continue, now that we're bowl eligible, we'll continue to compete for a championship regardless.
With the bye week giving you a little bit more flexibility, were there things that you were able to work on in practice last week that you maybe wouldn't have had time or the ability to work on if you had a game that week?
Yeah, bye weeks are, we looked at it as a fundamental week. We spent a lot of our time on the fundamentals of tackling, blocking. We spent a lot of our time on route running. We spent a lot of our time on being able to focus in on blitz pickup and preparing ourselves for some of the pressure packages that we expect this week and beyond. We really spent a lot of time being locked in on just getting better in technique. Each period we spent was dedicated to a different, almost like training camp, where we spend the first couple of days in training camp not competing against one another, but competing in different practice periods of individual. We took that same approach. So we only had one day where we competed against the other side of the ball, offense versus defense. The other 2 days were just about offense getting better at offense, defense getting better in defense. And then our younger guys were able to scrimmage, and we do that. Well, we do that every day, but we were able to have 2 20-play scrimmages live for our guys that don't have as many reps.
Wisconsin typically is known for having a physical running team. They always have a lot of great running backs. How are they this year on offense, from what you've seen?
Yeah, well, they're still trying to run the football. There's no question about that. And, they'll run the ball on third down. They'll run the ball on 3rd and 7s, 3rd and 8s, 3rd and 6s. And they're not, they really don't, they don't avoid running the football. And they like to run the ball. They're a little more spread than they've been in the past. They have a little bit, more 3 receiver sets. But I still think at their core, they want to be a physical downhill running team, and that's what we have to prepare for. Okay.
Jedd, got a question, non-game related, apologies, but AP reporters across the country are asking coaches about buyouts, how those have increased in size over the years, especially in the post-NIL era. I'm curious what your thoughts on that of, how buyouts have gone to increase with coaches' contracts, if you're willing to comment on it.
Yeah, I don't know much about other people's contracts and the buyout programs. I just think that buyouts seem to be high, and it seems like guys are losing their jobs quicker. So I think that they're probably working hand in hand right now.
Do you think it's a byproduct of the job's gotten harder, if at all? Not that it wasn't always hard, but that it's continued to in this era.
Yeah, I think that unlike most, in the NFL, where there's a lot of different people doing a lot of different jobs, in college football, you're still really, as the head coach, overseeing personnel, overseeing the marketing of your program, overseeing the player acquisition, overseeing recruiting, overseeing scheme, overseeing coaches, player development. We had a 9 a.m. meeting on academics this morning, So I think it's the amount of different things that you're doing in college football is kind of one of the main reasons why, maybe the salaries and the buyouts have become what they are.
Has The administration here approached you at all about an extension or a new deal?
We haven't talked about any of that. We're just focusing on beating Wisconsin.
I know that, you talked about how messed up the calendar was for the transfer portal, and that with all the coaching changes that are taking place, it seems like it's just going to need mass chaos. Have you given much thought to what that's going to look like the beginning of January?
No, I've been focused in on beating Wisconsin. Been focused in on trying to get to 7-2. Been focused in on seeing how good of a team we can become over the month of November, and spending all of our time really focused in on that. And then we have to make sure that we can retain our players. We have to make sure that all of our signing classes, that everyone that's committed to us signs with us in December. One of the biggest challenges is obviously until they sign, they're not signed. So we want to make sure that we try to get our roster numbers up based on how we're recruiting. And then we have to deal with what's going to happen in the portal. And then you have a January 2 to January 16 window where we have to figure out, who and what we need to bring in. And then January will be a very busy month. And then that's why we've made February a dead month, so we don't have to, no players can come on campus. We can get to know our own players better, and then I can give the coaches a little bit of a break after what I hope will be a very busy December, a very busy January, and then hopefully in February I can give these guys a couple days off.
Can you give us a little bit of an insight of how that works? I know you've got recruiting guys, but do you have specific guys that work on retaining your own players and specific guys that are working on the rev share negotiations and all that? Maybe give us a little insight.
Yeah, I mean, the way we operate is, Matt Doherty oversees our personnel department and oversees all the different avenues, or all the different, whether that be a recruiting avenue, whether that be a portal avenue, whether that be talking through with me, all of the aspects of the revenue share or outside NIL or however that all works, in terms of trying to, make sure that we give the best opportunity for our players. Third-party NIL is very important, so that's also through Dogs Unleashed and elsewhere. Been obviously very active with Pat, having conversations regarding that aspect as well, on how we can continue to get our community involved, how we can continue to get our sponsors involved, how we can continue to get our national brands to help support our players. It's certainly going to be a huge part of retention for our team and for all teams. It's also going to be a huge part of acquisition for our team and for all teams. So you don't only have revenue share, you also have to be able to come to the table and be able to have your communities, and whether that be Dogs Unleashed or a version of Montlake Futures, that will be able to help create deals, create opportunities for our kids, and make sure that we stay in a very competitive environment. As we know, if you want to be in the top 20 in college football, you're going to have an over $20 million roster. And it's going to be very important that that we stay in the top 20. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you. Appreciate it.